We talked about a couple things, and does anybody remember what the assignment is for the month of January? It was a month-long assignment. What is it? Allowance. So we talked about the short wall. Does anybody remember the short wall? Right. So tell us, what's the short wall? So allowance. So what's the opposite of allowance?
Judgment.
Judgment.
Resistance.
Resistance. I passed a car on the street this week, and it had resist on the bumper. And it was interesting, that was exactly where somebody had pounded their bumper. I mean, it was all dented in, but the word resist was still there. And I thought, how appropriate, right? Because the world wants us to resist anything that doesn't align with a particular way of thinking. And there's lots of ways of thinking. There's lots of pockets. There's lots of echo chambers. And we get caught up in an echo chamber, and yes, it makes sense, absolutely it makes sense, until we begin to dig a little deeper and we begin to understand that it's just an opinion. It's just a positionality. It's just a judgment. And so this month, what we're looking to do is we're out here in the world, is to step over this very short wall. And when we get into this wall, when we're on this side of the wall, right, this is the no judgment zone. So how easy is it to practice non-judgment? Super easy? Challenging? How quickly do we make a judgment? 1/10,000th of a second. Somebody walks in the door and you look at them, you've never seen them before, and literally in a microsecond you will begin to judge them based on your filter system. Who else has your filter system? Susan does. She's got everybody's filter system. Nobody does. Why is that?
We're unique.
You are absolutely unique. You're unique in your experiences. Who chooses your experiences?
We do.
You do. You choose every experience that you have without question. So, if you're choosing all of your experiences, is it possible for you to be a victim?
No.
Well, it certainly feels like it, doesn't it? If you think about experiences you've had where you felt like somebody really harmed you, or somebody harmed somebody that you love, or somebody harmed a child, or someone that we see as an innocent, could be a cat, could be a dog, could be a favorite child, or could be a parent, right? Doesn't it appear that people are mistreated in the world? Right. Is that a judgment?
Yes.
Right. So when you step over the wall into the no judgment zone, this isn't a place that you take your mind to, and we can use figuratively, metaphorically, that we're stepping over a short wall, and it's just a place of safety where we can literally be okay being not in judgment. Being not in judgment. And I promise you, you're not outside of this room. It's going to be kind of difficult to get people to agree with that with you. When you see something and it looks horrific to the world, it's on the front of the newspaper, whatever it is, and somebody asks you about your opinion and you step over the other wall and you go, well, it doesn't matter. Can you leave here tonight and get people to agree with that idea? Very rarely. Very rarely.
So how do you deal with the statement, the only way evil can exist is for good men to do nothing?
How do you say that again?
I mean, based on what you're saying,
Yes.
there is a statement, and I think maybe it was after World War II or during World War II, of the only way for evil to exist
Yes.
is for good men to do nothing.
To do nothing. Or the devil made me do it, one or the other. Whatever It's not really my fault because we have this being called the devil, right? We all agree and believe in the devil, right?
Along with that, does non-judgment preclude inaction?
Preclude inaction? Actually, the energy of the Creator in action is non-judgment.
If I see a cat about to get hit by a car, and I'm standing there, I can do nothing, because the cat walked out there. I can grab the cat and get him out of the way.
Right.
That's an action.
That's an act of the...
There's no judgment, but
It's not judgment. It's just you taking an action. You're actually being the expression of love. You're interceding in what is potentially a hazard. So you're acting out of integrity. You might be putting your own life in jeopardy. Yes, possibly. People do that. Right. See, the people that are really in, we could say the people that want to maintain power and control of the world, we could call them elite, we could call it conspiracy theorists, we can make up lots of names for all that. But basically, it's just people looking out for themselves, right? Putting themselves first, and it makes perfect sense to be on both sides of an argument. Can you lose if you're supporting both people in an argument? No matter which one loses, you win.
Is that, though, not judging?
I'm not judging. I'm just saying.
No. If Ford is selling to the Germans and also selling to the Americans, is that like, I'm not judging, so if they want to buy my stuff, they can buy my stuff?
They can buy that stuff.
Would you
The
call
question
that
is, are we
non-judgment?
foolish enough to believe that evil is something, this energy or this vibration, that controls people and makes victims out of some people and perpetrators out of other people?
no.
Are we being foolish in that, believing that evil is actually something that's even real? You know, last week I walked back there and we were talking about love. And we were talking about love and we were talking about darkness, right?
The light and darkness you turned.
And I turned off the lights. And when we turned the lights back on, what happened to the darkness? So is the darkness consuming the light, or is it just the lack of light? So evil, Adolf Hitler, was he evil, or was he simply listening to a thought system and participating in a thought system of self-empowerment, self-aggrandizement? Was he really just acting, playing God? Really? Just playing God, right? And is that evil? Or is it just another word that I want to interject? And that's a great question you're asking, John. But I would intersect another word. Out here, okay, we could say there are some people that are insane. Insanity, when we don't understand the truth about ourselves, that we are not separate. See, this is the world of separation out here. But when you step on the other side of this wall, when you step over the short wall, over here you are beginning to join in mind with reality. You're beginning to become, this is the no judgment zone, so this is a zone of sanity. Because it's insane to judge anything. How do I know that? Because you're not qualified. I'm sorry. And neither am I. You're not God.